Hello, are
Hello.
you there?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, your line's better now. There's something wrong. I don't know whether it's with this old phone, which I'm just about to replace, or whether there's something with the line. I don't know, or whether there's interference. But it's gone peculiar a few times today, and it's been acting up over the last week. Now, that said, I read everything you sent me, and I'm going to say this to you. I'm very appreciative. If we could just minimalize, you're not Scotland Yard. You should be working for them. You're more thorough than they have been with me so far. And it doesn't warrant for what we're attempting to do to get this message out there, how women who are sexually attacked, are maligned, mistreated, and treated as though they are the perpetrator on top of what they've gone through. That's the whole purpose. So the consequences are also that this is an unusual rape because I don't know him. I still don't know him now. But if I'd have known him, then it wouldn't have been half as bad. But it's like being beaten up by somebody you don't know and for why, and you don't know. It's worse, much worse. So there have been situations since I've known him that have never happened to me before. So one can only say, is there some association with him? Because these things, acts of violence, etc., not many, but more than enough, all reported and witnessed by strangers.
You think other women? You think other women?
Another woman?
I mean, do you think other women could have been in the same situation?
No. You mean with him?
Yes.
I don't know, darling. I can only tell you that he is a man of at least 5 personalities, and I know that because my second husband had identical problems, absolutely identical, and I dealt with them for over 25 years.
Yeah.
But Peter was never violent with me, but this one is, because it's all about control, in dominance, to control you in sexual attacks, because he couldn't control me because I wouldn't respond to his advances. I wasn't interested in him or anybody. I wanted my own space, to be there in a place I loved, and I had nothing but peace and security and privacy for nearly 20 years.
Oh, by the way, Patricia, can I interrupt you? I'm in the road, so we can have peace and quiet, but it might be not too much peace and quiet, just so that you know.
No problem. But so whatever I've said to you has happened. I'm not paranoid. I'm prepared. If he fucking kills me, he kills me. That's it.
Well, he didn't succeed, did he, in the first place?
Footprints everywhere. So your comment that I'm so paranoid, no, I'm not. I'm telling you the factual truth. That's why I had to correct you when you got certain things wrong, or you re-asked me again and again. I had to make it clear, as I would with anybody, as I have done. Because like I read the copy of the book, Drug Rape Resurrection, I read it 11 times from the publisher until they got it at least 92% spelled correctly and words were missing.
Yeah, actually I read it.
92%.
I read it. It's a wonderful book.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Actually, when I read it, I gave you a review.
Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. For any positivism. But let me say this, Kate. What I'm after saying to you is this. I have already come to... I don't want to talk about it anymore. I have to talk about it to you because you're trying to put me on a platform and say a 3-minute punchy what's happened to me with him and what's happened, the reaction from the law and other people. That's it. And the moral of the story. End of. Right. I gave you directions to go to that garden, residential garden area. I came with the pinpoints of the other points you wanted me to make. I showed up and I brought the 2 books. Everything you've asked me to do, I've done it. And I've done it on time. The library, I did suggest calling there because they do change the times.
Understood,
yes. It's not my fault. However, the situation is now, even if he comes back, my total objective is to get him in a court and have the truth spoken about who he is, what he is, and why he is. And that includes his past criminal history, as is my understanding from the private detective. That did the research on him and then refused to give his report because it was that bad.
And
Now,
is this
this is all I
Morelli?
can tell you.
Morelli, what is his name again? The one who is backing him up, the one you
Oh,
trusted?
yes. Now, this is, you see, he wouldn't have known. You must understand this. It is complicated. Louis Morano, I know from the very beginning when I went to the Dunhill with Peter Engen, my husband. He was the cigar salesman in the Dunhill at that time. And so Morano would come up and speak to us every evening when we were in the garden, as I used to fondly call it. It's a courtyard looking now, but it was like a garden there. And he'd come up and stand at the table and interfere with our little supper and our conversation. And I would say to Peter Engen, why is he doing this? I don't understand why every night he's coming up interfering with us. You're not buying cigars, but here in the garden, it closes at 7. I don't get it. So it's transpired that he thought I was coming from old money and he was thinking he was going to get money off me.
You trusted him, yeah?
Yeah, isn't it? I got him a job. We never even heard of the number 5 club in Shepherd's Market, Mayfair. And I told him who to ask for and how to present himself to get the job. For 2 reasons. One, he didn't want to be in the Dunhill anymore. And secondly, I wanted to have a bit of peace and quiet when I went there in the evenings. So it was a dual purpose. He got the job. He never even come back and thanked me. He was there for 9 years until the billionaire boss ordered him out of this cigar shop because of his lack of empathy. Because the billionaire's wife blew her brains out. She committed suicide. She was the former wife of Brian Ferry, if you know who Brian Ferry is, the pop star.
Everybody knows.
And then she married Robin Briley, billionaire that owns the number 5 club. And so Mr. Morano, to give you an insight about Mr. Morano, which I say to people, is this. If you're working for somebody and they give you a job and they come in every day to where you work, into this cigar shop, which Briley did, and you can't be bothered to say to that person, I'm very sorry about your wife dying. I don't know how to say this to you, Mr. Briley, but I'm very sorry, sir. I don't want to upset you, but my condolences. If you can't do that, and that's why Robin Briley said, get out. But he told me Morano himself. And I'm telling you this to get some insight, as I've had to chew on it, who fucking Morano really is. So Briley said, get the fuck out of here. Every day I come in here and you've never showed any sympathy or empathy towards my dead wife who blew her brains out.
That's not very appreciative of Morano, is it? I mean,
This is Morano. He's Brazilian. But pretended to be such a devoted Catholic. I think he's Jewish. I don't even think he's Catholic. That's my opinion now.
Patricia, I don't mean to interrupt you. It's just I'm in the middle to have peace and quiet. I'm in the middle of a place where I'm trying to have peace and quiet. So, but it's bloody freezing. So you have to speak. You have to speak a bit louder, and you have to be a bit short, if you don't mind. Tell me a bit about this.
The thing is this: Morano is another Walter Mitty, if you know who Walter Mitty is. Walter Mitty was a character that pretended to be all sorts of people and he wasn't. So he was a con man. So if I can get this into court, I will have achieved my mission to speak my truth and facts of what he did to me, why he did it to me, and how he's behaved since, and who helped him to do it. A trusted friend of nearly 20 years I would have put money on. I was mistaken. I never knew Morano at all. Because Morano...
Double face.
I will say this. He has told me twice, Kate, twice, once on my birthday that year, the 24th of August 22, that he had these men, these powerful rich men, in the cigar room talking about the horrific, quote, the horrific things they do to women. Patricia, why do they do this? Now, that was the first time he told me indirect. The second time was on the 17th of October, just 2 months later, when he was trying to discredit me to the doctor on the instructions.
Can I ask you, I don't mean to interrupt you there, Patricia. This thing, did you know if they actually, when this guy attacked you, what's his name, the guy he attacked you again?
Stuart Page.
Okay, can I ask you, do you know if actually you were one of the people that they actually went, like you said, in a back room and talked about what happened to you too?
Yes, exactly. That's what Barana was telling me that he had them. He talking about what they were going to do to me.
Oh God, you kidding? So they are kind of have a sadistic pleasure afterwards, after doing. They talk about it.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
disgusting!
This is their want, you understand, Kate? When you've got that much fucking money and you've been in this war and you're bored and you want to get more power and you want to get more control. So how do you achieve that? And there's about 6 or 7 of them. And I know this because Peter Engen got me involved when he was going off the rails the last 17 months of his life.
Okay. Can I ask you one more thing? I know that this might sound long, but I'm in the middle of the road. I'm freezing here. Last time I had a nosebleed with this. These things drive me totally annoyed. I even had a nosebleed last time. I mean, you don't see that. We were not on a Zoom interviews, but honestly, I even keep evidences of that because in these days I don't trust anybody. But can I just ask you one more thing? Did you ask like the DC or CD or the copper? Did you what kind of questions did you ask them about this case you reported?
Well, it's pointless me asking anything, but I did ask him, had PC Rebecca Johnsey, had she contacted the private detective that has a whole bunch of evidence on Stuart Page, the rapist? And he answered me quite straightforwardly. He said, no, she hasn't. And it was 6 months after I did the details of the private detective. He said, I will do it, Mrs. Bailey. I said, thank you so much. So another 2 months go by before he tells me, yes, I've spoken to the private detective, Samantha Hutchins, and she was on another assignment and she's refused to give any information. That's what I got told.
And this person said you was the copper of Mr. Saxon.
No. Sexton is the detective sergeant. That's what it stands for. DS, Detective Sergeant Adam Armstrong Sexton. He's got a double barrel name. And he asked Samantha Hutchins, who's a private detective, a former female copper at Essex Constabulary, which she did largely with paedophiles, she told me. But she went into this private detective. But she's a bit of a phony as well.
Can I have to go, Patricia, I don't mean to interrupt you. I know this is very sensitive, but there's people passing by in the road. And obviously it wasn't a good idea me going in the road so I could talk to you, but it's still not private because this is not totally a quiet place. We tried the library, we tried Gales, we tried the road.
At all. But this is my mission, Kate. Do you understand? I'm not going to let him get away with what he's done to me and take big delight. I never had anybody and pretended to be and drug people to get them to do what I want. I never stalked anybody. I only complain when I have to complain. The consequences, like my face damage, like him damaging my clothes. And I was prepared to give him the benefit of the doubt, to let him pay me damages for my clothes at that time. Now it's gone on. I'm looking for a substantial amount of compensation. I will be trying again to seek civil law, not just criminal, to sue for damages. You understand? I've done all this before. I've never got anywhere. So
I know, they get away, don't they?
It might be different. I have to have a civil lawyer that I contacted over 2 years ago to try and get damages. But
so you paid for a private detective. You want a civil lawyer?
Yeah, I did. But she gave me my money back because she refused to give me the information.
Was she scared?
Which is heinous. It's deadly what she's found out about it. You got it?
He's a double faced, 5 personalities.
You bet. You bet.
And do you think he's in the country now?
It wouldn't surprise me, Kate. It wouldn't surprise me one bit because the law won't listen when I say to them, you keep telling me he doesn't reside in this country. And I'm telling you that I could bring people that have got nothing to do with him but know him and saw him every day right up to December, from September up to October, November, December 2024, right up to the week before Christmas. So he's living here for all those months.
Can I ask you something, Patricia? I don't mean to.
Before, in 23. And you're telling me he hasn't lived here for 5 fucking years. Well,
God.
he doesn't have to have a permission if he's the UK British national, which I believe he is.
Patricia, can I ask you something? Did anybody bother you to actually help you with the counselling or something, or the modernitarian or anything?
Yes, I've had a lot of help from the rape crisis. I would sing their praises loud and clear. They have helped me a lot.
Okay, I gotta go because there's a lot of people
And
passing by.
My priest listened to me every week for many months.
Yeah, can I ask you something?
Which is private and confidential. The priest can't disclose that.
That's what I was about to say, yeah.
Give evidence in court.
I know. I know there's not much proof in these cases, but you have any mails maybe from the police or any reference they give you? Because I know you're not very expert on everything.
They don't give me that. I'm telling you, it's like getting their back teeth out. They don't want to give me nothing. Honest to God, you won't believe me, but they don't. And I try with the other solicitor. You can't get it off them. Just for the fact of saying which airport was it you arrested him at, they wouldn't tell me.
So they said you was in Australia.
I said they were in Australia. They wouldn't tell me. I know
Okay.
he's in Australia.
This is getting complicated.
He was.
Well, it was nice to meet you last time, Patricia, at the library. I mean, I am making an effort because I think this is totally disgusting behavior. It's not only what was the woman by the police? What's her name? The one.
Sarah Everard.
I know. I couldn't listen to it. I had to cut it off. And I even listened to about Pellico, but that is a different case, not much the police. I'm still put off for that one. And I have experience by personally ages ago, but I don't really want to talk about it now. And I have also a friend that had a lot of hassle with the husband, nothing to do with sexual assault, but he is a control freak too. And on my page now, I don't want to follow this, but there's a case of a woman. The guy is so sadistic, even pour liquids on her one eye, and then he commits suicide. I mean, so pay attention to this, Patricia. Studying these cases, one thing is going to be either this page comes back, or if he gets caught, he's going to try either to escape one way or the other. The last one committed suicide.
Yeah, there's a possibility of that.
Anyway.
Because I just say this to you. On the 2nd of January this year, excuse me, his son contacted me, which I've told you, 5 times in 6 days. Now, I don't know his son. I've only seen his video last year, 2024, after I had the dream. Other than that, I don't know him. I've only heard about him from his father. But why did he contact me then? Paige had only been back because Paige was really pooing himself, and he's told his son over the Christmas, and this was the 2nd of January this year, and Timothy Page started contacting me. Now what for is going to be the fucking question. I don't know you. So he heard from his father. Get in touch with her. Make it look as if it's for another reason, and then we'll post. It could have been an entrapment. And I didn't answer for 2 months. And this is the second time that Paige has put somebody up to try and contact me, to get me to communicate with them in 6 months. So he was petrified of coming back here. And that's why he was trying to get his son to act as an intermediate, to put to me either a deal to take some compensation, to remove the report and the charges against him.
Can I ask you something? I know this is upsetting, but I got to know this before I go. There's a lot of people passing by. I want to know something. So basically, you have somebody then took your report. Another one said you would like to take the case. Sister Copper wasn't really much bothered, and the other was report. You have the support of a priest. You have the rape crisis. And you have my support as much as I can. But can I just find out one thing? What did they imply that you are actually having some sort of how do you say issues with your mind or something?
I can't hear you.
Did
in the background.
Did the police imply anything about you having some sort as an excuse, some sort of mental issue?
No, never.
No, you're lucky then.
No.
Okay, because I know cases when you do when you don't have to
Because
work
I'm
on
going
it.
to tell you now again, they have information and evidence on his history. Do you understand that? And it's pretty heinous. And my situation, I don't know him. I never got in his car. I never went to his flat. Never been out with him. Never spoken to him. Never wrote to him. Never stalked him. Didn't know him.
Where was it
He's
again
not
that I was supposed to go? Where was it? This the gate? Which gate was it again? I gotta go because there's people passing by. Could you? And there's people passing by. Honestly, can you tell me about this gate? Where exactly was supposed to go then? Hello?
What? Oh, what do you say?
The gate, because there's people passing by and I can't.
Gate?
Yes.
Yeah, the gate. It was locked on that residential square. And it was touch and go that he picked me up and threw me over the gate. It's a 5-foot gate. And it was locked. And he couldn't believe it. And that's when I knew for sure he lived in Mayfair. Because he knew what time the gates were closed. And they closed early that night.
Oh,
Thank
they
God.
always know. Okay. Oh, I gotta go because there's a lot of people passing by.
Okay.
Well, I do appreciate you telling me all this. It's important to me too. And honestly, I'm trying to keep this as much confidential as I can. But there's people passing by. If you call me later, as I told you did you read the text?
I read it all, yeah.
Okay, so I can't talk anymore because, like I said, this has been a long phone call and I'm running out of battery.
Yeah, okay.
If you call me later, I gotta recharge and I gotta go and eat. And it's getting freezing in here too. I do appreciate it, and I'll talk to you later. And if you could email me or with some sort of email response from the police or something, that would be great because at least one small evidence or one small person has supported you, even if the priest can't give evidence in court. If you could, I'd just text you and say exactly, listen to you for a while. That would be nice. From then on.
He listened to me for many months, Kate. He listened to me every week, and my brother listened to me every day, and it's worn his health down. And there's about 6 girlfriends that saw me every single week. One works in Marylebone Village. She's a marketing director. And twice a week she'd say, come in. You need to talk about it. And I did. But now, it's still a crossword puzzle. I don't know whether he's coming back. I don't know whether he'll top himself. I don't know whether he'll seek vengeance.
Okay, I gotta, Patricia. I know this might be. That must be sound horrible on me, but Patricia, can I ask you?
Anybody to save himself. He's already done it with me.
Patricia, can I ask you something? Do you think he was interested in you because of what you say about you were on the news as a billionaire?
As a what?
Remember, when I checked your name on the news, it says billionaire, millionaire.
Yes, but with him, allegedly, he's got millions. He claims that he's been married to me in a former life. He claims that this is my destiny, and I had to meet him.
Okay, understood now. So he's not only he believes this thing, he has evil issues. He's powerful. Oh, okay.
As they do, any high-ranking military and high-ranking coppers, they are taught in the occult. They are taught in hypnotherapy, telepathy, and the Freemasons, which is a private sect, which is into black magic.
Oh,
look it up.
I know one is
called. Tell you.
I know one is called the mind cult. Is that the one you talk about? The mind cult?
I don't know about that one. No, this is long historically established. The Freemasons, and you get promotion, you get money given to you, but then they come back and say, "Well, we've given you that money and those opportunities earlier on in life. Now we want you to do this for us, whether you want to do it or not." So they wanted me out of that club courtyard because my husband, who was going to be their right-hand man in Africa, I stopped my husband from being their right-hand man in the drugs ring in East Africa, where Paige had his company.
Patricia, I gotta go. There's a lot of people passing by, and honestly, it's just not safe anymore. Oh God, what happened there? Oh gosh. Okay.